Hi, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to this webinar series on optimizing customer lifecycle experience. Now, this episode, we're going to focus on how to scale your business efficiently for the long haul, addressing your short-term business needs with the right fit technology and capabilities so that you pay only for what you consume or use. Now, such an approach certainly, as you can imagine, is a boon for SMBs, but it also equally scales and applies for larger enterprises. By the way, I am Arun Kumar, your host from Infobip, and today I have the pleasure of having with me Reid Morgan and Talal Khan, the Directors of Data and Strategy at Revenue Automation, a great services partner of Infobip. Welcome, Reid and Talal. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Great to be here, Arun. Thank you.
Great. As you know, I shared some details over an email about a potential client of ours. And you probably remember the couple of small business owners in this enterprise, Sakura and Sanjay, that we're going to deal with. This client is essentially a small service-oriented business, but they are having rapid growth recently. They are planning for their long-term growth. Still, they want to keep their cost structure down in the near term and then scale efficiently later when the timing is right. So that said, I do have the flexibility to structure the deal in a multiple different ways. But what I would like to hear from you today is how revenue automation can solve their current day problems, which I kind of gave a sense of in the email, still set them up in parallel for the long-term success. Could you just share your initial thoughts?
Yeah, certainly. No, we both went through that email, and Sakura and Sanjay sound like excellent long-term clients that could be really, really fun to work with. So just to confirm, their specific pain points right now are more around the time and effort that it actually takes to support and serve their customers, as well as to qualify any new leads. Is that about right?
That's exactly what I was thinking and had in mind. Now, what I would like to hear is how can revenue automation be flexible and kind of targeted with your own services pricing to get this new client relationship off on the right foot?
Yes, that is always key. Controlling costs for small and growing businesses is essential. So revenue automation likes to partner with businesses and invest in them for the long term. And as a result, we are more than happy to work and partner with you in a bunch of different flexible ways and different models of services and support. We, of course, do full service retainers, but we can absolutely do project by project with tight scopes and controlled costs, fixed costs, so you know exactly what you're getting into. We are also more than willing to do training modules with your team. So while we might build up the original infrastructure and get things rolling, we would then be more than willing to actually go through some training sessions with your team so that your team could take that off of our hands and you could take that in-house and keep costs lower. Talal, do you want to talk a little bit more about perhaps how we can build up the modular technology side as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So on the technology front, Infobip is very modular. For Sakura and Sanjay, it sounds like they'll immediately benefit from Infobip Answers module, which is where the chatbots live within the Infobip ecosystem. When they're ready for the other modules, we can look at adding those later, depending on their roadmap and their strategic vision. The chatbots here will be taking care of the primary use cases that you mentioned. It's going to be connected to via the API to their CRM, so that any information that's entered in the chatbot or any extra details that Sakura and Sanjay want to capture via chatbots can be added to CRM that they can refer back to when they are having those in-person conversations. We'll also recommend getting the sentiment analysis tools so that Sakura and Sanjay and their team can see at a glance how the chatbot conversations are going and potentially step in if the interaction is not going very well. To get the best value from the Answers chatbot, we'd recommend that Sakura and Sanjay also get the chatbot analytics part of Answers. What that's going to really help them with is figure out if there are any gaps in their bot's trainings and continually upgrade and improve their bot so that they're not necessarily setting up all of the use cases or all of the potential use cases right up front. They can start with the frequently answered questions and work their way from there, as well as improve the chatbot experience for their customers from the get-go.
Talal, just to jump in here as well, I think probably the biggest thing that we want to get across here is that revenue automation will be there when the client needs us, but when they don't, we'll be waiting in the wings and ready to be an asset for them at any moment.
No, that makes absolute sense. And if I can paraphrase what I heard from you folks, you'll be waiting in the wings and then offer the right services in line with the client needs. I love the fact that you see the same potential for growth at this specific client the way we do, and that you're willing to invest in this long-term partnership with the client. Certainly the client might want some additional detail on the actual setup and onboarding of the answers chatbots per se. So could you please tell me a little more about how would you approach that setup and onboarding of the chatbots for this client?
Certainly. Talal, I'll jump in on this one. Revenue automation, as we said before, can work with you with a bunch of different financial and support models. We really do try to partner with our clients or Infobip's clients long-term. So let's say we scoped out a project to do the initial setup and onboarding and maybe a little training for your team. Revenue automation could then discuss with your team what you think the common use cases would be. We could develop a strategy to actually build up those chatbot dialogues for you and start automating that piece of your service delivery and business. At that point, we would also step in and start training any in-house marketing people that you might have so that they can actually go in and start iterating and improving your chatbot over time. We, at that point, would step back and we could be technical support for your team, as well as a little bit of consultation here and there, as well as, of course, and perhaps even most importantly, keeping you always up to date on the future roadmap and implementations and new feature rollouts that Infobip is making available, on a monthly basis or even more quickly. What this really allows us to do is, and you to do, and Secure and Sanjay to do, is to really budget and plan ahead and develop a data collection strategy that's going to take advantage not just of the products and features that are available today, but the products and features that are going to be available through Infobip months or even a year from now. So with regards to building out the actual chatbots as well, revenue automation would be able to jump in and build up the different customer journey streams, as well as implement the APIs within the chatbot that would connect back to your CRM or customer database. Mm-hmm. This is going to allow your chatbots to deliver really tightly scoped, personalized communications, as well as take any information that they can gather from the customer during the automated chat and push it back into your CRM. So your data is always up to date, always fresh, and always most useful for your future marketing efforts. I also spoke briefly about the sentiment analysis feature. So this is an add-on within Infobip's Answers module that will automatically comb through all of your chats and in near real time alert any customer service agents through their dashboard to any chats that are going particularly well or maybe particularly poorly. This allows you to jump in on any opportunities or problems that might be arising and have the human step in where the chatbot might not be fully capable yet of handling that conversation. With regards to once revenue automation has set up these chatbot experiences and chatbot programs for you, we would then take a step back. We might implement some training with your teams, a train the trainer model. We're actually really flexible because we are investing not just in this individual project, but in your business and your business's growth for the long term. So as your business starts to grow, we can build out more and more modules in the chatbot to handle more complex use cases or even brand new use cases as you roll out different features and services and things like that. These are all tightly scoped projects, so you're keeping your costs down, you're growing really efficiently, and at the same time, we are building in testing and analytics processes so that your chatbots modules and your chatbot dialogues and customer journeys are always getting more and more intelligent and more capable over time.
Anything else, Talal, you want to add?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we want to make sure that our clients are supported best they can be. As they're scaling, as Reid said, we'll train the trainer, we'll get you implemented, and then we'll plan with your team as the support is needed. We'll be there if there are any technical questions, and as you want to expand your services, that's when Sanjay and Secure can engage us again, and we'll be able to help them out with their strategic vision.
Great, folks. I'm actually really thrilled with what I hear and with the plan that you have for this client. So, as always, regarding next steps, we'll try to schedule a meeting with the client and we can go over, our thought processes, right? Thank you again. And turning to our listeners, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll also take this opportunity to encourage you to watch 2 other episodes that are part of this series. And you could find the links right below this video in the call to action section. Just as a heads up, one scenario is about optimizing your ROI with respect to lead acquisition and conversion, which is front and center for all businesses today, right? And the second scenario is about how do we take a proactive approach to customer experience management, especially your loyal customer base, and improve customer retention and LTV with respect to that segment. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and thanks Reid and Talal for your valuable inputs.